True leadership involves inspiring and uplifting those around you, fostering collaboration, trust, and growth, rather than simply asserting authority. To portray my point, let's go ahead and start with story time. Let's imagine a freshly promoted leader at work. Let's name him Ralph. Ralph, like many people, makes the simple mistake of thinking that respect comes with the position and he expects their will to be done because, simply put, it's their will. But anyone who's experienced being underneath someone with that mindset will understand that, simply put, it's just not how it works. People will blatantly ignore them and they will do their own thing, leading to a multitude of problems for the leader, and then for the team, and then for the organization, in that order. As this went on, Ralph got upset with those underneath him. He got upset because of the lack of control he had over them, and he was tired of being ignored. So he switched it up. He resorted to using his position of authority to threaten the team around him, and he tried to demand respect, his way or the highway kind of a thing, eventually resulting in a lack of motivation, trust, and loyalty when it mattered most. Fear can be a valuable weapon in the pursuit of respect and productivity, but when you only have fear, it is a shaky foundation, and one that will often collapse with enough time and pressure. Over time, after experiencing being a leader firsthand, and after experiencing leadership firsthand, and after making many mistakes in his choices, decisions, and leadership style, he saw many people leave him in the dust, and he saw many people quit. So Ralph decided to do some research on what he was doing wrong. He looked into what it meant to be a true leader, a stoic leader. Eventually, he stumbled on the saying, "A leader is best when people barely know he exists. When his work is done and his aim fulfilled, they will say, 'We did it ourselves.'" It's a saying that resonated with the young leader and helped him see the error in his ways. And after he learned this, he began to take a different approach and once again changed up his style. Now he's understanding it's not about exerting control. Leadership isn't about exerting control, but about empowering others. And he's finally beginning to understand this. So he looked for ways to make his team better and more confident in themselves and their own abilities. He did this by always being available, always asking sincere questions, and was doing his best to be the oil of the machine. He didn't want to micromanage people. He wanted people to do their own thing, but just to do it well. That's all he could ask them, is for them to try their best. Ralph began to always take the blame when something went wrong. It was always his fault when things didn't go to plan or just when things fell apart. But when things came together, when things went right, when things went well, it was the team around him that got it done, and he would be the first to vocalize how impressive the team was, and not just himself. By being a leader that looked out for his team and for his people, and wasn't so focused on his own reputation, ironically, his reputation improved. Over time, even through immense pressure, the foundation he built stood as strong as a diamond because he built trust and loyalty from those around him, and he created collaborators and not servants. That's not to say he was not firm with his team when needed, but instead built the right foundation and the right relationship with those around him, and then set boundaries as needed. And he found the people didn't abandon him when he needed him most, but they were the first to answer his call to action. A true leader, a stoic leader, looks to inspire and lead with courage in the face of difficulties. Learning to lead is in itself a difficult challenge and one that needs to be faced with courage, because if you fold or lash out, your credibility will be hindered for it and you will find yourself abandoned in your time of need. A true leader makes difficult choices, and they are decisive when it's time to be so. If that's something you struggle with, I will be linking a video on being decisive where I delve further into the topic, but for now what you need to know is to trust your gut, and more importantly, to learn from your screw-ups. At first, Ralph let his new position get to his head, and he eventually landed on a dictatorship style where at any moment the house of cards he built could fall in on itself and in on him. But once Ralph understood the importance of supporting the team and understood what it meant to be a true leader, he was able to create a loyal team that would do anything to prevent disappointing him. It reminds me of back when I was in school and I had one teacher that was always rude, showed no real drive to connect with the students, and made it clear they didn't even want to be there. The teacher didn't even want to be there. And we, the students, suffered for it. Our grades suffered for it. Our drive suffered for it. But in comparison, I had another teacher that always made the effort. Always made the effort to get to know the students, and they made class fun, and they made it clear they were trying their best. Who do you think we wanted to impress more when it came to our work, when it came to being on time? Who do you think we hated to disappoint more? Who do you think we respected more? The answers to these questions are obvious, but that's kind of the point. If you want to lead and if you want to do it well, you have to start with the foundation, and the right foundation, and then build on top of that. You can't get from point A to point B without the journey. The source of a lot of frustration is oftentimes it takes time and effort to reach where you want to go, but I pose a question: how often in life are the important things easy? It's another obvious answer if you ask me, but again, that's kind of the point. If it's easy, it's likely you're doing something wrong or you're not doing enough, because you need to be constantly challenging yourself and your team to be continuously growing and learning. Learning is leadership, and leadership is not easy. Look for uncomfortable situations and throw yourself into them. Learn from them. Be willing to fail. Ralph failed at first, then he failed again. But he eventually learned from his mistakes, and without those mistakes, he would never have grown and developed as a leader. So let me leave you with one final question. If you didn't learn these things in order to demonstrate them in practice, what did you learn them for? Remember why you clicked this video. Thank you for watching, and until next time, like always, make wise choices.